All right, y'all, it's time again for a top 10 TUR's tier list update. It's actually been a month since I've done the last one. So there are three characters that I do need to address in total. Obviously, the most important update for this list is going to be the physical Tao Pai Pai. He just came out. Very good character, and I think he's very ranging in terms of where you could place him in a tier list and things like that. So I'm very excited to go ahead and talk about this guy. Technically, I've never added TEQ, Kefla, and Kaio onto a tier list, so I do also need to talk about them a bit in terms of, how I feel like they did in some other events. I kind of did do that in their guide video, but we're going to go ahead and do that here in the video today as well. Then finally, we're also going to be talking about the EGL Super Saiyan God SS Goku Super EZA that came out. Because again, the last tier list I did was adding int hit and then a TEQ Blue Kaio-Ken Goku to the list, who does not make the list for me personally, when I especially include EZAs and stuff. Poor TEQ Blue Kaio-Ken Goku. I just feel like there's a lot of faults with that guy's design at the end of the day. But we're not going to be talking about him today. We're going to be talking about these three characters. So how I usually do this tier list is we don't necessarily focus on the actual top 10 here at the beginning. We go ahead and focus on separate tier lists. So for example, I have this red zone at tier list right here. I have a Battle-hardened Foros tier list, and then we have a Festival Battles tier list. Now, in my opinion, red zone is gonna be the most important type of content to kind of consider here. Then after Battle-hardened Foes next, and then after Festival Battles, if the character is good there, they get basically extra points, cookie points, right? But I'm not going to take it away anything from a character if they're not really that great in Festival, because I feel like Festival is not only just separated from how the game usually provides content, but I think that there's way less characters good in Festival, so I'm not going to, again, take it away from a character, especially if a character is not a stacker. I'm not gonna take it away from them if they're bad in Festival, right? Because that event is intended for stackers. But if, I guess in a situation where if a character is a stacking character and they suck in Festival, then I probably would take it away from them, because it's like, okay, you're designed for that fight, but you're bad in that fight. It's kind of odd, right? But so this is the red zone tier list. Just quickly looking over it, would I change anything about these characters here? I think I could change Battle-hardened Goku a little, but he's roughly in this range. Yeah, just like this guy on like Ready Power is much better, but I feel like this character is on a lot more setups now, especially with the introduction Tao Pape setup. This is like very minimal. They're not necessarily even in order anyways, but just for a preconceived notion, I think like this guy is in a better spot than you. And then, even Int Fat Boo and Reds, like, would I move Int Fat Boo to a tier above? Like, I've been considering it, but I don't think so. Because I'm like, I feel like a lot of these characters are just like in a much better spot overall. The Ghost Usher could be nice, but Fat Boo doesn't provide a lot in terms of damage. So that's probably why I'm going to leave him down here. And then finally, I think I'm going to move this guy. I mean, I might move them down, like all the way down here, in terms of this red zone kind of tier list, because like I don't want them next to EGL Cell anymore necessarily, because S tier Cell's in a much better spot, especially post in hits release. And I think EGL Cell is definitely, much more deserving of being up there. And I just think that this character does have, like, I've talked with people in the past month. I really like this character compared to a lot of people, but I feel like, you could get kind of screwed over by Goku in a lot of situations, especially in Red Zone. And Gohan, if you somehow can't get his 5 hits in, you're gonna be in trouble with Gohan, very much so. But beyond that, once you get Gohan out, Gohan's very, very good. I just feel like overall through the entire fight, these characters are probably just gonna be better for you and more consistent in actually having them built up. But besides that, I don't really change anything, I'm thinking. Now, we can take a look at the three characters here. Again, we'll talk about Tao Pai Pai first, just because he is the brand new character to release. And this character absolutely demolishes just red zone fights in general, both short and long fights. More or less, I'm considering this guy obviously in the longer fights, because red zone is usually, I would say 7 to 10 turns or so. There are some fights, even like the blue Goku fight, that's tough from the start, I would say. he is still a fight that will last 7 to 10 turns, right? So they're all relatively long fights. Even some of these fights could last from 10 to 15 turns depending on your team build. Not really Mercenary Tao's team build though. I feel like he obviously has a very strong team with the Earthbred Fighters category. Mission execution leaves some to be desired, but I feel like they're gonna be buffing that character, that category a lot since it's a brand new team that they introduced here. Now, I feel like this guy and his best team doesn't really struggle for Rainbow Orbs. You know, you have Battle-hardened Goku, you have General Blue, eventually Ijo Gogeta can create Key Spheres. I mean, there's a lot of Rainbow Key Sphere changers on this Earthbred Fighters team. I mean, you could even run, I believe TEQ Gotenks is on this team, isn't it? Not yet. TEQ Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks in certain situations. Like if you're going into that Blue Goku fight, just take TEQ Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks, he's a Rainbow Orb changer, right? There's a lot of characters who do provide the Rainbow Orb changing, which is really good. And it's just that there's a lot of really good characters you could just sub in onto the Tao team. I usually run a rotation of General Blue plus Mercenary Tao, then Powered Mercenary Tao. Then I have like Ijo Gogeta floating around. I have in mission execution, I actually run Glorio and have Glorio floating around. You know, you could get a bunch of these different characters in there and things will go pretty smoothly. Funny enough, Kaio-Ken Goku is another really good option that you can just throw on this team. Like, it's just, even though the links for Tao definitely is not the greatest, just his raw defense and damage reduction. I haven't had a situation where Tao died in red zone ever. On that team, he just, especially with Power rotation, it's just too good, right? He has 80% reduction, and you know he's sitting. Sometimes you could see him like 600k defense, but if he has like incredible adventure or support up, this boy is at like 750k, 800 plus k defense. He's fine in most situations, and you know, in situations where you use the Ijo Gogeta active, this guy cracks well over mil defense, which is more than enough with this 80% reduction, sometimes 88%. So this guy is just absolutely incredible. I think he's definitely in this top tier range. I probably would put him right next to these two sales, right? And I don't think Angel sells as good as these two, but I probably would put him like, honestly, I kind of like him better than these two guys, in my opinion. He is really, really up there. I think we all know about TEQ Kefla specifically, but I guess when it comes to them, I'm just going to put them up here. I do think that they're better than Tao overall, but they're definitely up there too. And then Ijo Blue Kaio-Ken Goku, I think he can hurt you sometimes with the HP reduction, but he's a very, very safe slot 3 character. I think the only issue is that locking could definitely hurt this guy compared to, like, you know, some of these top tier characters. If they get like locked in slot 3, like Vegeta and Glorio have ways to work around it. You know, Pikkon has like a Ghost Usher. Janemba is a slot 1 character kind of character, right? I think this Blue Kaio-Ken Goku doesn't really have a lot of mechanics to work around that, and he wants to be in slot 3 because in slot 3, again, he does get the 40% damage reduction, which is massive for this guy. So without that, yeah, I'm gonna say he's probably around this level of kind of tier, more or less. I feel like, you know, maybe like right here, I think it's a fair assessment of where I like this guy in the red zones, because he's very versatile. At the end of the day, he's able to be used on any team you want him to. He could provide 2-turn support in certain situations. Like, this guy is quite good for a support character. I am a pretty big fan of this Ijo Blue Kaio-Ken Goku, and in red zones he looks pretty fantastic. Now next we can go ahead and talk about the Battle-hardened formidable foes tier list, and it is very funny seeing Super Saiyan 3 Goku and Int Bapu up here plus Texao. I just think these characters, their designs were made for like shorter fights last year, and you know, I mean, Super Saiyan 3 Goku is turn 1, 90% reduction plus the guard, and has multiple supers which could stun the enemy. And Bapu just revives instantly, then comes back around with the Ghost Usher. Texel, he debuffs the enemy and just nukes them, and he has 80% reduction as well. But even beyond that, I think Tao is better than everyone in Battle-hardened foes, like easily. Tao clears everyone in Battle-hardened foes for sure. I think, could you make an argument for Texel, especially because the AoE Cell Max is, you know, the Cell Max AoE is what's it called? What's the word I was gonna say? Like, it'll hit everyone. So, you know, this guy's type advantage at the very least. So he technically will take less damage and heal you back. But Tao, I mean, guaranteed stunning in the first turn. And then he just nukes the first phase enemy. Like, you don't have to worry about the first phase ever with this guy. Like, he will one-shot the first phase himself. And then you get into instantly to phase 2. Like, obviously that's very good. This guy makes the Battle-hardened foes fights his, you know, just he just clears them. Another thing I would say I forgot to mention about Tao and Red Zone, you know, if we also consider the blue Goku fight, I mean, these two, this character hit, like, he kind of is roughed up in the blue Goku fight, but I think that Tao is like very, very good there. And one reason why I kept hit here still, by the way, is because his Ghost Usher. I think that's the biggest thing that really like makes me really like hit above. I mean, should I put him above Kid Goku here? I think I might. Like, the Ghost Usher is just so good. Though Kid Goku doesn't have to worry about dodge disable. So neither does Kefla. Like, dodge disable does hurt. And maybe I do this because the dodge disable would hit, huh? Sorry, I went back and forth between these two tier lists, but yeah, because like these two don't have to worry about like dodge being disabled, and hit kind of does, especially in some situations, right? If you don't have all those links up, like if he gets hit by a super, there are going to be some situations where he may not eat that very well, and these two could just slot one, right? Now, Battle-hardened foes, I do like Hit better than Kid Goku as well, just because, you know, Hit has the stun there. And, you know, we have Paikon, who has the attack lowering. He could get his Ghost Usher turn 4 sometimes. It's situational, though, of course. Texture Namba, it's very tanky. Glorios could just mass debuff the enemy while it's providing multi-turn support. Blue Kaio-Ken Goku is pretty decent to fight, actually, because I could see a lot of times where you're lower HP. So, I mean, if this guy has a super, like, what could happen is, even against the Cell Max AoE, if this guy's in slot 3, your first two characters will probably take, I could see in a lot of situations, take enough damage to fall under this threshold. And this guy's 90% reduction. And then, like, he's just like, yeah, actually, doesn't matter. I tank that. I eat that. I can see that happen in many situations, and especially because he could also lower your own HP, that could help himself with that, and he could just be a very safe slot 3 character for you, especially in the fights where there's extreme class enemies. He's providing 2-turn support. I think that could very much matter, but I don't think it's gonna put him super high up here, right? Yeah. And then TEQ and Kefla, I mean, that turn 1 can be shaky, but they do have 90% dodge in the second turn. And their tech type advantage. I feel like I would still put them up here. Yeah. I think they won't be able to get Kefla out too often, though. Maybe it would be a thing. Would I like Glorio better than TEQ and Kefla? Because Glorio's like attack, lowering, and everything. But I think he can be more in danger against that Cell Max or Broly AoE, so I'm probably gonna put TEQ and Kefla above. Yeah, and then I like It Hint above these two just because he does have, you know, he has, I believe the, is it, I forgot the exact dodge number that he has. It's either 66% or just 70%. So it is 70% chance dodge right there. That's really good. And then, you know, he could just get the extra dodge here, which is cool. Against some of these enemies, like against some XAE, won't really matter, but yeah, I mean, he definitely would have to dodge that, but 70% chance dodge is pretty good, and I think Kid Goku could probably straight up tank it. This Count Khalifa have the dodge, but overall through the fights, I like this guy a little better, but I could see the argument for either one of these three. That's for sure. But yeah, that's Battle-hardened foes. I'll leave it like that. Again, generally they're all in the same tier anyways. It doesn't really matter where more or less you may place them. And then this is festival battles. I mean, Kefla and Kale, I mean, you could argue they're just better than all three of these guys. I think I'm just gonna keep her in this tier. It's not really in order per se. Blue Kaio-Ken is just, you're never gonna use him. And Tao, you're also never gonna use him. Like, if you take a look here at the math, I mean, again, obviously he's not a stacking character. Like, it's the 5 mil normals, you know, he takes 400k if he's at 750k, right? That's against the Glorio. Against the Kid Goku, or the Diamond Goku, he actually is taking it for 132k, which could be a lot worse. But I mean, this is like, you know, say he's at 250k defense sort of turn, right? I think that's a general, like, you know, through 30, 250k seems fair to me. But then we have the Vegito and Gogeta, who, I mean, Vegeta's normal hit for 7 mil. Gogeta's hits for 10 mil after he supers, which is quite a lot. 10.5 mil, in fact. And this guy, I mean, against the 7 mil normals, he's taking 335k per normal. Could you get away with him there? Maybe. Like, I feel like if it's a situation where you, I mean, if you have like Gogeta's active skill, this guy's at like 900k defense, like 260k, could you skate past that if like he, I mean, he might just probably just get supered in just one shot, right? Like if he takes a 2.4 mil attack stat like that, he's taking 2 million. So also that's not even considering that. Yeah, he's taking 5 mil, my bad. Yeah, no, you're not running this guy there, unfortunately. I mean, you know what's funny? If you had like a defense raise on a super attack effect, you can actually probably get away with him there. That's how close he is realistically. It's just that he's not designed for festivals, so I actually don't really care. But yeah, so when it comes to that, I think we can go ahead and wrap things up with this tier list here. I mean, there are definitely some changes that I made here. I'm gonna still say keep Hit at 1. I think Hit's overall, you know, ability with the Ghost Dasher, that could really help a lot of the other characters on the rotation. Even though there's a dodge disable, he has that ability, and in many situations he could still just tank the super. He also has an action disable, which could be really useful. In Battle-hardened foes, I do like this guy over these two. And in Festival, I mean, this guy's active against the TEQ Vegito phase could be very devastating to that guy. Or even in the EGO Gogeta phase, that could also be very devastating. So I'm going to keep Hit 1. I think Kid Goku stays at 2. And then I think TEQ, Kefla, and Kale will actually sit in 3 for me. And then Tao at 4. I don't know why I had Glory above the cells, by the way. I should not have done that. I don't know when I did that or how I did that. So I think G2 Vegeta goes down here. X Goku Gohan, I think, goes down here as well. Then this is the list, I think, right here. Is there any character that I feel like should meet here? I think this is good. GT Vegeta, honorable mention for sure. Blue Kaio-Ken, I don't think he fits the top 10. Like, you could, he's not like too far from it, but I think like the overall performance of a lot of these other characters will be better. But I feel good like this. I do like Tao over the cells, just because I think that this guy is gonna be very consistent, surprisingly, against a lot of the enemies, right? Tech Cell does have to face certainly super class enemies specifically, and I feel like there's not as many Rainbow Orb changers around him. You know, he does create his own Rainbow Orbs, which is very huge for sure. I mean, dude, the Tech Cell's so good. It's like they're like very similar to each other, Tech Cell and the Mercenary Tao. I just think Tao is just gonna be better in Battle-hardened foes. Plus, I think this guy is gonna be better in many of the red zones, though. You know, like if we're making like the Blue Goku fight argument, Tech Cell is really good there, but Tao is just straight up better with his counter attack. I think that there's situations where Tao does just generally more damage. I think the Rainbow Orbs amount that this guy can get is very, very huge, and I think this guy is less reliant just getting the Rainbow Orbs, but he does want to get a bunch of other key spheres as well. Well, as you can just focus on the rainbows for this guy, I think that's pretty good too. S tier Cell, I think Battle-hardened foes, this guy's kind of just fodder for the most part. Like, you could definitely use him similarly to Int Boo, but I mean, like, Int Boo like would then prefer give a Ghost Usher, well, as this guy, I mean, especially on his own team, that's not really that great. This guy does become a Slant 1 tank, but I feel like, you know, there's situations where you get this guy like to be a Slant 1 tank, and then the fight's either over or I don't know. He doesn't really do anything turn 1, and then when he dies, it's like you kind of waste a turn 2. I don't know. Compared to Int Boo, where at least he will give you a whole turn later. Not really a fan of Esther Cell in that fight specifically. And then you see Glorio. Yeah, I think this is all fair to me. Glorio has a lot of things that he could do even when he gets locked and stuff like that. Dodge disable will be an issue if he has to take a super, but I feel like in most situations he's very easily able to take normal, so yeah. This is what I'm thinking. Maybe Path to Power could be higher, like in a consideration, I think for sure, but I don't think he will crack top 10 necessarily for me. I'm just not really seeing it compared to like AJL Cell, for example, or like Tech Genema's performance, PyCon's like Usher. Like this guy has the 8% reduction support, but I think it comes to a situation where, you know, against supers, he could also be in trouble as well. But I mean, like Glorio's like has that same kind of thing. Kid Goku, I think I might just keep like, okay, let me take a look at Kid Goku one more time. I mean, yeah, Battle-hardened foes. I'm not really a fan of him there though. I mean, neither am I for AJL Cell, but it's close. I mean, you could definitely make an argument. Something like this. I think, I don't know, like GT Vegeta, you could also make an argument for. That damage reduction support is so huge. I mean, let me know what you guys think, because I think if I was going to put Kid Goku on the list, he would be with Glorio. I mean, like if I say Kid Goku's here, because there's many situations that 8% reduction support is super good. It's just very, very valuable, especially with Tao's introduction now. But like, you know, with AJL Kid Goku on the team, you know, he's on just pure Saiyans. I mean, yeah, might do this. I think this works for me. He does have attack debuffs in Battle-hardened foes, plus a reduction support. We'll do this. I mean, I think maybe I was underplaying Path to Power previously. I mean, wherever he is here, you could kind of move him around. The top tier is really the one that's like closer to being ordered. Everything else, not really. Yeah, I think this works. This works. It kind of lost second change a little bit in my head, but I do like this. So let me know what you guys think. Thanks y'all for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.